Before we begin, I should warn you. The contents of these tapes are not for the faint of heart. We're specially trained to deal with this sort of content. But, should these tapes ever be declassified and released, to anyone who may be untrained and unaware, these tapes are subject to contain strong language, jokes of a sexual nature, as well as racial jokes, racial slurs, weight jokes, gender jokes, religious jokes, and so forth. To be honest, even for myself, it can be a bit hard to stomach. But you have your warning. Let's begin. I'm Special Agent Chuffton of the FBI. I was assigned to the Wesley Sullivan case on January 5th, 2022. In regards to this case, I was tasked to investigate the death of a former FBI agent Dre after his apparent suicide. A death that I now believe can be attributed to the podcast we are about to review. Agent Dre was originally assigned as Wesley's personal FBI monitoring agent in collaboration with the NSA, who were concerned about the number of, well, there's no elegant way to put this, Mormons living in convents and rural farms throughout the state of Utah. The NSA has a difficult time monitoring communities when they live off the grid. And from what I understand, their collaboration with the FBI was to avoid too many eggs in one basket, so to speak. Plausible deniability in case of an audit or some such. I'm theorizing above my pay grade and these details don't pertain to this case, so let's move on. What I know is that Agent Dre's task began as a fairly harmless one. From reviewing the notes and records on this case, it seems Wesley was one of the brightest and most innocent young men to whom any agent could hope to be assigned. However, once he joined the Facebook group known as Colin's Lost Context, CLC, he began to sink into the dark underworld of the internet edgelords who resided there. You see, Wesley was ripe for influence. He was a sheltered boy whose parents had separated, and, tragically, his father had recently passed away. As mentioned, collecting information from these communities that exist largely off the grid is difficult. And so I am submitting these long-lost podcast clips, which Agent Dre had fortunately captured, as evidence to my findings. Here is the clip that mentions Wesley's father.
Sorry to interrupt. What were you guys talking about?
Oh, we just finished up the whole segment of all the people that had died this year.
Out of everybody who kicked the bucket in 2018, is there anyone you're most sad about, Wesley?
Well, that's kind of an obvious question, but I'm just going to leave it to celebrities.
Oh, yeah. Holy shit.
Give me a minute to think on that, because I really don't give a damn about a lot of celebrities. I'll think about it.
Was that... Dude, I don't understand time in CLC. Like...
Hey, Alex, you want to talk about your dad dying too real quick, or no?
I could have sworn that was like 3 years ago.
I'm just wondering, you know what I mean? We could just make it a duo if
And here is where our first mystery begins. From what I can tell, after reviewing Agent Dre's logs, it was believed that Wesley had a fiancée named Jennifer.
Wesley, how did you evolve? How did you get into those?
Just listening to music in my friends' cars, or at school, and then listening to what Jennifer listens to.
Okay.
That's your fiance?
Jennifer.
Yes,
Okay.
fiance.
Invite her to the group.
We gotta have her on
Lord,
the show.
no. No, she'll look at my iPad. Like, what the hell are you doing on here? And she sees me giggling while scrolling through Facebook, and she just shakes her head disapprovingly. Idiot.
Oh man,
That's funny.
It was believed that Wesley owned and resided on a ranch in partnership with his mother, and yet after his father passed away, there was talk of Wesley living at his father's house. We have records of Wesley, who was not very tech-savvy, running into issues with his payment cards not being accepted or getting himself locked out of payment methods with such places as Amazon, and then later asking Brian to fulfill orders for him and his wife and having them shipped to his home, to which he would then pay Brian back. Brian was Wesley's friend and co-host in podcasting. In these transactions, Wesley's home address on these orders points to a somewhat suburban area in St. George, which made me wonder about the ranch. It's unclear when and how Wesley tended to cows when he was living in a suburban area. It's unclear if there were ranch hands or if he would commute there. It's unclear how he got around after breaking his leg. I'm going down a rabbit trail here. It's difficult to keep this story organized. Let's return to the mystery. According to the podcast notes and Agent Dre's logs, Wesley had at some point held his wedding, married his fiancée, and soon after they were expecting. Again, the timeline is unclear here, but during the course of things, within a year, his wife gave birth and Wesley's son was born. But now for the strange part. Within the span of time, all of Agent Dre's notes were later amended and nullified. It seems, after Wesley's passing in January of 2020, new findings began to surface. I've been in contact with the FBI monitors of the other podcast co-hosts and gathered pieces of this story from their perspective. You see, Brian found it peculiar that Wesley's wife and child were not mentioned as his survivors. In fact, they weren't mentioned in the obituary at all, nor anywhere else. With this new puzzle in mind, Wesley's co-hosts, much to their own regrets, began digging deeper. Wesley's marital status was never mentioned on social media outside of the group. Photos of Wesley and his friends and family existed publicly, but not those of any wife or child. The only photos seen by the co-hosts were submitted in private chats. But it gets stranger. Further investigations revealed that the photo of Wesley's wife was actually the wife of someone else in Wesley's social media connections, and the photo of his child was found on someone's blog, seemingly a random stock photo that he grabbed off the internet. And so it was then believed the entire story had been concocted from the beginning. Suddenly it became hard to tell what was real or what was forged. The first obvious step for us was to search the public records. But the problem we ran into was that and none of this is public records. And so we found no answers there. Ultimately, it seemed the entire story of the wife and child were fictionalized. But I'm not convinced. You see, as mentioned before, we're dealing with rural private communities. It's entirely possible that everything Wesley said about his life was true, and that he only falsified the photos to protect the identities of his loved ones. And as we examine these records, I will explain what has led me to suspect this. My first clue, as I pored over the logs, was that Jennifer, Wesley's fiancée at the time, actually spoke over his microphone during a podcast episode.
What about Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, Kevin Spacey's a good ass call too.
Yeah, and Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, him too.
Yep.
What?
Harvey Weinstein.
Don't know them.
Give him the old
You can say hello.
the old trip in the dirt.
No, you have to into this.
Hello.
Who is this?
Who dat?
What is
Who
going on
dat?
right now?
Did they hear my hello?
I think that's what.
Yeah, they heard you.
Is that Wesley's wife?
Yeah.
Hey, Wesley's
Oh
wife.
shit! Hey, Miss Sullivan.
Thank you, Wesley's wife, for putting up with us and letting us have Wesley on the show.
I just thought it was Wesley saying hello. I couldn't tell any difference.
Oh,
Got him.
Can you hear me?
I don't say that every time.
You mostly do, bud. You mostly do.
I mean, granted, that was the best intro to a personality on a show of all time. When you first said that on whichever episode it was, it might have even been the first one. But man,
This is Wesley.
yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me?
It could be argued that the voice was merely one of Wesley's siblings. The voice does sound young. However, if Wesley's own voice is any indication, that youthful quality means nothing. It seems unlikely to me that Wesley would record the podcast in front of his siblings. He was a good Mormon boy. His underground dealings with CLC were kept private. It just seems unlikely to me that Wesley would record a podcast episode of this nature in front of anyone besides his closest partner. The other reason I lean towards believing Wesley's story is that it was so detailed and readily available. He wasn't recording the Roleplay podcast at this time. These were before his days of acting and improv. And yet, the way he would speak about his married life, it was effortless. And he gave no one any reason to doubt the stories.
Yeah, it's 30.
How many ingredients are in there?
It's 31 flavors, and all of them are prune.
I'm looking it up. No, you got it backwards. Baskin Robbins 31, Dr. Pepper's 23.
Oh man.
Like MJ. So anyway, you were telling us about getting it in, Wesley.
Oh Lord. Well, I'll say this much. I didn't blush. I thought I would blush. I didn't blush until the next morning when we were ordering breakfast and the gal I was talking to asked how she wanted her eggs. and I asked her, and she mouthed to me, fertilized, and I just
got it.
And just so we're clear, blushed is Mormon for cum, right?
oh my hell.
I'm glad your wife has a sense of humor.
Yes, she does.
I wish she would have
Definitely
said scrambled with a coat hanger. Hey, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Are you gonna put a boo in that one, Brian? Because you should probably put a boo in.
I'll put a boo in that one.
Yeah, probably. Either that or a party horn.
I got extra fucking high for this one, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, nice.
I decided to fucking bring it.
And
That's
what's funny?
That's bordering on the edge of Mexican party right there.
Tell me about it. And like, what's weird is as drunk as I got.
Wait, was
I
that
still...
a quinceañera as well? Because if that was a quinceañera as well, we need to put a parental advisory on this.
No, it was not. It was in northern Michigan, where I doubt anybody at the festivities knew what quinceañera would even mean. And so, yeah, and despite me being as drunk as I've ever been, I was still the first one back awake. And just got up and started, like, going out to the tent and folding chairs and, like, putting away tables and shit.
good man.
Right.
Jeez. All right,
That's
I guess we're
fucking
taking a commercial break, so we'll stay with us. And we're back.
No, I need a longer commercial.
So what is that? We've done Chris's art, we've done Wesley's, so we have me and Tim left.
No, I already did
Well,
mine.
no, I was gonna talk about my wedding in comparison to.
Oh, we're not done with Wesley's, I forgot.
Unless we need time, like.
No, go, Wesley, go.
Okay, well, so all of you describe really casual, easygoing weddings.
Oh, did you guys have to get lifted up on the chairs and shit and smash the glasses?
No.
Oh, you
know what?
You jumped
I
the
forgot
brooms and then sang some spirituals.
In German.
I forgot that we weren't done with Wesley's topic, so I'm undoing that commercial break.
No! You've already committed to the commercial, Brian. Now you gotta write another fucking commercial before you put out the podcast, man.
I'm gonna stick
No,
it in
I think
later.
it's great because he said, we're going to go to commercials and we're back. Not even a breath between the two.
I thought we were actually, like, pausing. And like, what?
We'll do it. We'll do it later.
Okay, so do you guys want, like, a timeline? Because it's rather absurd.
Yeah, tell us the
Absurd. What are
parts.
you? Are you Jordan Peterson right now? What is this absurd?
Fucking Colin Moriarty over here.
Okay, so we got married in Provo. That's where her family's from. And so
Let's say that some of us were homeschooled. Where's Provo?
it's outside of Salt Lake City in northern Utah.
Okay.
So about 5-hour drive from where I live.
Okay.
It's the most Mormon place in the United States of America.
It absolutely is. They call it Happy Valley. It's a whole county.
That sounds like a nudist colony.
You know what Mecca is to Muslims?
Yes. Yes. It's the Mormon Mecca.
What opening up a brand new bank is to Jewish people?
That's it.
Mormon Mecca, not to be confused with Mecca Mormon, which is when Donnie and Marie form a Megazord and start to terrorize Tokyo.
Mecca Mormon is what Wesley and his wife was trying to do on their wedding night. You don't have to boo, Tim. I have a soundtrack for that.
We need extra booing. As many voices booing as possible. How dare you sully such a good joke like that?
What
How
Brian
dare
did
you?
was apply. Well, he applied my art technique to jokes right there.
You see how sometimes the artist is flattered and sometimes the artist is pissed? You should be pissed in this instance.
We'll submit that you thought no one would notice.
Trust me, we fucking noticed.
Wesley's story is going to take an hour at this rate.
But I mean, they're good jokes. Like, who's gonna tell a story if there's jokes?
Okay, well, that's a little condescending, but all right.
So we got married 9:00 at one of the temples in Provo. And now this is the funny thing. This is the only city in the world that there's 2 Mormon temples. It's that big of a thing. Like,
I really want to know if they have competing reviews on like Yelp or something.
It's like when a town has 2 Denny's.
We prefer the Western one. So we got married, and the ceremony is really small, very religious, very, what's the word? Like, there's no changing it up. You know, it's, very A,
Dogmatic.
B, C. Yes.
Quixotic? Wackadoo?
Wackadoo.
Traditional.
Lots of people think that.
Moist. Would you say it was moist?
Yes. Oh, that moist Provo air that we always hear about.
I don't know if it was moist in Provo, but it kind of got moist in Vegas. Oh, I tried. So, and then we had a reception for her family in Provo, because the wedding, like the actual ceremony, maybe 20 people were actually there. Very small, private, just like siblings, parents, a few other relatives. And so we had a reception, Provo, very, cookie cutter, punch, just like a reception line, like nothing really fun or I don't know what the word is, like the opposite of Tim's reception. That's what this is. But nice still. I mean, it was nice meeting her relatives and stuff.
Yeah, they don't get wild until the cross burning afterwards.
Yes. The sun has to go down, and then it gets wild.
Well, see, the thing is Wesley, he's kind of a traditional Mormon, not a super traditional Mormon. And what happens is like they're still going to use the sheet, but by use the sheet, they mean they're going to lose their virginity at said cross burning.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
That's the only thing that was the same between Wesley's night and Tim's night, is that they were both people hidden under sheets with holes cut in them.
Yo, that was a good one, Brian. I enjoyed that. Look at
Thank you.
Look at you making a joke that made some people laugh or something.
Do a little applause here.
No, not even a little applause. I want the rap horn right here. I want to let people know that they should laugh.
You gotta cut Brian some slack. He doesn't. He ran out of popsicle sticks earlier, and so he's got.
I love how
Which
Brian
reminds
is Jeb Bush. Please laugh.
It's been a while since we've memed the show, but that's definitely going to be one tomorrow.
Oh, shit.
So after that reception, then we drive 5 hours down to St. George, where we have just hung out for a while at my mother's house until the reception that evening. And so most of my relatives were at the one in St. George. And that was a little more casual, but, no alcohol or anything like that.
Just a lot of heroin?
Yes.
A lot of slaughtered cattle.
Right.
We did have...
You guys try this Dr. Pepper? It's great.
29 flavors now.
Yeah, this Dr. Pepper is a 97 vintage.
And then after that, we drove to Las Vegas, which is about 2 hours, and away. And then we spent a few days there. So.
Did you eat
Have
any
you
of
been
the
there
buffets?
before?
Yes, we did. We went to buffets, restaurants, shopping. Both of us sinned in our own ways. Hers being shopping, and mine being a gluttonous bastard.
You're not supposed to be telling us any of this.
I'm not?
It stays in Vegas.
Boo!
Oh,
I was waiting. I knew it was coming, and I still held in my tongue to boo.
that was like when you hear the tires squealing, so you look out the window to see the accident before it happens.
They should really put in a 4-way stop here.
What were you saying, Brian, before your god-awful joke?
He was saying that he's a slow child and he's at play, so you need to drive slowly through this neighborhood.
I should put content warnings on these episodes, like, you may want to plug your ears. I was asking if you'd ever been to Vegas before.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I have relatives that live down there, and, we don't hang out on the Strip or anything, but I have relatives that live in the Summerlin area, and so been there, but not for the reason you go to Vegas.
You were going to go to Washington, D.C., but you're actually still doing that later on, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So did you have a bachelor party?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No. Very foreign concept, at least to the people that I am around. I mean, I'm sure some people around here do, but...
No, I understand. You can only drink so much Dr. Pepper in a weekend.
I guess we could get the energy out if you really want to get wild, but...
So...
a Mormon bachelor party would be the guys all get together and shear some sheep or something like that.
Nah, dude, let's go and evangelize. This neighborhood's never been hit. We recently de-gated it.
We're gonna rent a really expensive bike and fucking go through the neighborhoods.
Oh my God.
We're gonna go buy a bunch of black skinny ties. All right.
Oh.
It's like the West Side Story.
Let me cover up the sound. Okay.
I think it would be a great honor if I started calling black people honkies, because it feels so good when they call you the N-word that I would bestow this upon them.
My honky.
I just go around saying, "What's up, my honky?"
Like we always puff our chest out a little bit. I'm like, oh, serious?
I need to. So I need to find an alternative word for it though, because I don't want them to hardwire it.
Cracker or cracka?
Cracker, yeah.
Cracker isn't nearly as funny as honky.
Hard Wyatt is definitely somebody's porn name.
Do you guys want to know?
Can we have a character in our D&D podcast named Hard Wyatt?
Oh God, maybe. I don't
You
know.
can tell from my handlebars. Look at them.
Do you guys want to know what I'm doing right now?
Masturbating,
No, we
Wesley.
Masturbating! Freight train!
masturbating. My breath would be heavier than that if I was masturbating.
You've trained yourself over the years.
Trained yourself? Freight train!
Sun comes up, rises high, it's so hot, it's gonna make me cry.
Freight train! That's what I say when I orgasm. I just bellow out, freight train!
That's why you had to move to a more secluded area.
It was that old.
The wee hours of the night, all of a sudden, like a bunch of huffing and puffing, and then freight train.
So is your wife like, hey, how come I hear you yelling freight train from the bathroom?
It all started the day that Wesley watched North by Northwest by Alfred Hitchcock.
You also
Inspired him
hear
to
a
become-
steam whistle at the same time.
Okay, but what I'm really doing is I'm looking. I just googled black actors. And there's a list. The greatest black actors in film history. Number 1 is
Can you
Denzel.
just start saying Blacktors, Wesley? We can tell that we know that you want to. Just say Blacktors.
Blacktors.
Who's the best blacker? No, not an actor, silly ass. A black dude.
Whoa. That was one hell of a laugh.
They have special parts.
What do you mean special parts? Because they're black.
Yeah,
And they got
extra
big
bone in their
wingers.
ankle.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Can you imagine?
racist episode.
Can you imagine the black people's fingers? They'd be like foot-long fingers.
Would they be white on the inside? You didn't see that coming. I mean, that's obvious.
Freight train. Threw that on us like a freight train then.
Freight train!
Sun comes up, rises high, it's so hot, it's gonna make me cry.
Here comes that
Ladies
old
and gentlemen,
racist
if you
freight
want to
train.
make sure that you'll never be able to work with anybody who is even mildly left-wing on this podcast, come on. And have people say racist shit around you.
Here I thought I was going to replace my N-word with honky to be progressive, and Wesley's just screwed it all up.
Hey, freight train.
Yeah, I mean, Tim brings up a good point. I mean, it is like going to be pretty damaging when there are going to be tens of people that will never work with us again.
Oh,
Here's
no.
the thing. I work on a farm. Nobody can fire me.
That's true.
Unless BLM becomes the next BLM.
Unless your wife hears the last episode when you talked about her, like, pole vaulting onto your dick.
Whoa.
Did no one get the BLM joke?
I got it.
Yes.
But yeah.
Black Lives Matter, body land management, whatever.
Bureau. That should have been far better than it turned out to be.
Oh man.
Don't worry,
Wesley-
Coward saved it.
Wesley's all down with that body land management.
Sorry, I don't have cows to practice my jokes on.
We actually we talked about that one time, that you practice your jokes to an audience of crickets.
Like a tough crowd.
Furthermore, some of the things he told his co-hosts seemed almost too bizarre to be made up. There's evidence that Wesley had some imagination, but I question, did he have this much imagination?
You know, if I know somebody personally, like, and they wanted to be called something, I wouldn't care.
Yeah,
You know,
like,
but
look,
it
I might
is
make
like
a
kind of
mistake.
weird, like if you see someone in the store and like, you know, your kid bumps into them, and then you tell your, you know, kid, oh, say sorry to her, and then it's like, oh, I'm a man, or you know, whatever. It's just like, okay, calm down. Like, but really, that's as far as any of this really has to go.
Yeah, and I think that's such a weird Okay, fine. This is your show. I'll let it slide.
Sorry, I'm late.
I think. Oh, hey, Wes.
Oh, hey, Wesley.
Yeah. Hadn't let-
Just in time.
Oh, for what?
Give us a topic, quick.
Uh,
Literally anything else.
Well, I'm sure you have a lot to say on Gay Pride Month.
You know, I have. Well, I just got married, and one of her many brothers, is gay.
No, let's be real here, Wes. One of her many, many brothers.
Yeah. Yeah, she has a really big family.
The odds that one of them would be gay is pretty good with how many brothers she has.
That's true.
Is he excommunicated?
He's not excommunicated. He kind of stopped going to church, and some of her family is a little more accepting and tolerant, and some of them aren't so tolerant, and it is sad to see. There are some differences there, but he's.
I'm surprised you haven't been excommunicated yet.
Oh, for the podcast? Yeah, I'm surprised too.
I mean, just stepping foot in CLC. that...
Although I'm sure Bishop Hammer listens to Wesley's podcast, and he's like, "Yeah, why are black people's palms a different color than the rest of their skin?"
Oh.
Shout out to Bishop Hammer.
Shout out to Bishop Hammer.
Yeah, I don't think Mormons get excommunicated. I think they get extra communicated. Where it's just like the line of Bible bike ride, people just constantly at the door trying to tell them like, hey, you could just change and come back.
But so you were talking about the gays?
Well, yeah, it's Gay Pride Month, and I was bragging.
He was taking
so
credit.
Proud of the gays that I put my birthday in this month. So.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
So by that standard, I am so proud of September 11th that I was born on September 10th.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
We all know that your people were in on it, so that's no surprise here.
That is definitely going to be Eric's soundbite for the intros.
I think I can actually one-up you. Because I was born on March 8th, which is International Women's Day. So
Ooh, nice.
I think I deserve my credit here.
How are we on this topic?
I don't know.
Well, this is what happens when Chris drives the show.
Can I talk about the? Wait. Do you really want me to bring a topic?
Yeah, go for
Sure.
it. Oh, it's not even my show. Yeah.
Okay. So I just made friends with the electrician, and I want to be his best friend.
I called it.
He's amazing. Like, honestly, he's the coolest dude. He has like this Viking beard and a sick fade, and I want to marry him off to one of my sisters. That's basically like what I want. Yeah.
We definitely turned your scenario into a pornography before you showed up.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we
newly
imagined
married,
him becoming
guys.
your brother husband.
Oh.
And then you
boy.
come along and talk about how great he is.
Yeah, and really, you had the sentence all the way up to where you said, marry my sister. We got you all the way up to there. So
I want to marry him.
You're only 2 words off.
to my sister.
But yeah, he if I ever drank a beer with someone, it would be this guy. He's a total Gentile, had all the tattoos.
Wait,
and
I gotta
stuff.
stop you right there. We've been podcasting together for how long now, and you just meet this guy off the street, and all of a sudden you're gonna go drinking with him?
I'm not saying I'm going to drink with him, but if I ever drink with someone, it's kind of a toss-up between you and him.
Riley's literally coming to Utah next week.
Oh, you are? Oh.
I'm gonna be in Utah tomorrow.
Oh.
What part?
Salt Lake.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, you won't be in the god-awful heat here. I hope you don't have to get in it. It is awful.
Yep.
Mace, it's your auntie Julia Callan-Ellen, and I want to know what are you doing?
My aunt's name is Sylvia.
No, your aunt's name is Julia. I was transgender. I turned into a boy, and then I turned back, and now I'm Julia.
So you're a transgender.
You're damn right.
Wait, why did you go by Sylvia when you were a boy?
No, I was Sylvia when I was a girl. Then I was Richard. Then I was Julia.
Why wouldn't you just be Sylvia again?
Because I just wanted a time to change, Timmy boy. So fuck you.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be really hard. You give up that identity, and then why would you want to? There's a reason, so you don't want to go back. So you got to become a new identity as a woman.
Exactly, Brian. Brian, I can't believe you're so woke on trans issues.
I'm a very progressive person. Ladies and gentlemen, today, as we record this, it's October 1st, 2018, and the spooky memes have begun. The Spooktober memes are out, and I wanted to kick us off with something truly horrifying and scary, and I did not expect Mace to be on the show, so nothing I can say is going to be as frightening as that. But I found out that Wesley's cousin has 2 thumbs.
Yes, but first,
on one
can I
hand?
say
Because
about,
if she just has 2 thumbs, that's not that impressive, Brian.
No. 2 thumbs on one hand, and one thumb on the other hand. But first,
weird. You'd think that it would be even.
Yeah.
She's a cheater at video games, I bet. Huh?
Now, we're jumping to conclusions here. We're all referencing her as a...
thumbs up your ass.
The real question is when she's rating movies, does she ever give them 3 thumbs up?
I'll have to ask him.
We're really jumping to the gender assumptions here. It's actually a dude.
It is a dude. And we call him
I
Two
stand by
Thumb.
my original statement.
Two Thumb Willie is what people call him. And it really should be 3 Thumb, I guess. But I don't know. And it's
so
not
he could
like...
put a thumb in the bum and tease the prostate. Nice.
But I mean, seriously though, having an extra thumb is like having turbo buttons on the original SNES controller.
Hell yeah.
Doesn't really.
Because think about that. Like he can have one on the stick and one on the A button, and also his fucking his pointer fingers up on the shoulder buttons. Like this motherfucker, he's got a future in video games. Wesley, you should.
Is this a
really try and
sexual
coach
thing?
him.
Are you making a sexual reference here?
No, I'm really not.
No.
Like I'm just saying that he would be really good at video games.
You don't have a picture of it, do you, Wes?
I can try and get one. I mean, he's a hillbilly.
Oh my god!
But I should get one, I guess.
Well, I need to know like placement and stuff. If we're gonna figure out this video game thing, we got to figure out where these thumbs are.
Okay, well,
Wesley's about to get on the phone. Hey, cousin Jethro, why don't you text me a pic real quick?
Now listen here, Jethro.
You know, my name's Jackson Callan-Ellen, and let me tell you something. I actually have 3 thumbs on one hand and 1 penis on the other hand. So I usually wear gloves on the hand, so it covers my penis.
Oh my god.
So can I just describe what his hand is like?
Well, so we've got two thumb Willie, but you're actually 2 Willie Jackson.
Well, would the semen go out the hand too?
Holy shit!
Yes. As Jackson Callan-Ellen, when I have sex with women, the penis is actually on the middle knuckle.
So you can't
It's
really
gonna-
grip anything with that hand?
You could have sex and get a BJ at the same time.
Hold on.
Yeah, you just gotta knuckle your erect penis in there.
I have to really adjust this mental picture of the Olive Garden scene in my mind. Hold on. So doggy style is okay. I got it now. All right.
Did I say doggy style before?
Yep.
I actually meant Devil's Triangle. It was a boof and Devil's Triangle situation.
I'm sorry, Wesley. Go ahead.
Oh, what was I gonna say? So
Describe.
it grows out just like a normal thumb, but on the left side of his right thumb is another thumb like growing on it.
Yes, that's perfect. So when
like-
you're whacking
No, it's
off
not
and
like
one thumb
full
gets tired,
appendage.
then the other thumb could take over.
So it's like a two-headed snake.
It's like a vibrating rabbit.
Okay.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that.
When all the cousins got together and made handprints in clay, were they like, why don't you sit this one out?
Jeez.
Now,
harsh.
Jackson, when you were a kid, you know how most kids suck their thumbs.
Mm-hmm.
What did you suck when you were a kid?
His Wolverine.
I actually sucked my eyeball out of my head. All right, I didn't suck on my fingers or my penis on my right knuckle or my actual penis. I sucked my eyeball out of my head.
That's a spooky meme right there.
Oh yeah, people got real freaked out by it until they realized I have no actual eyeball, and it was just like a glass ball I was playing with. I lost my eyeball back in Nam.
How old are you?
I'm 98. So I had mates with his mother back in the 50s.
You were pretty old in Nam.
You guys ever try pleasing your old lady and you suck so hard on her crotch area to where your track pants suck between your butt cheeks because you're sucking so hard?
Why are you having incestuous with your mother?
Also, why are you?
I'm not with my mother. I said.
Why are you?
Jesus Christ.
Mace, when you're sucking on someone's crotch region, is it a phallic shape or is it more of a a vaginal shape?
She's got an enlarged whatever the thing is that you call at the top of the vagina.
Well,
you mean the clitoris?
Yes, it's enlarged.
Tim, is that what that's called? You didn't go over that with me. No wonder my wedding night went so poorly.
You know, Cal, you've probably seen more of them than the rest of us boys.
Wesley, so another name for the butthole is the clitoris.
Oh.
And you got suck on it as hard as you can.
Yeah, see, when you're having sex, that's where the woman actually derives her pleasure from.
Usually I just pass out, but
and sometimes there's a move called the Wyoming stripper pole, where
It's actually called the clitordectomy, where you take a piece of glass and you just fucking.
Jesus.
No,
that sounds like the Muslim stuff.
Tim, can we not make that a reoccurring thing?
What do you mean? Clitordectomies are absolutely a great thing to keep calling back.
I will let you have as many raspberry urines as you can possibly put on this show if you leave out clitordectomy.
If I promise not to talk about female genital mutilation anymore.
With a shard of fucking glass.
That's our line.
No, I'm saying so.
Brian's blind.
There's a move called the Wyoming truck stop, and it's where you're sucking on the clit in the butthole so hard that the woman actually poops in your mouth.
No, I'm not. That ain't kosher, my friend.
That's called a climax.
I'm telling you, that's the climax. Wait, why am I speaking as Jackson, Cal, and Ellen right now?
Macedonia, don't tell them all the tricks that we taught you in the bathroom.
Macedonia, we taught you at a Kmart for a reason.
Wait a minute, Macedonia, you were homeschooled too?
Actually at Kmart, but what happens at Kmart stays at Kmart.
Okay, Macedonia, is it true that a donkey punch is a sexual maneuver?
The donkey punch? I've tried humping a donkey 1.5 times.
Yeah, but they just call it the mommy punch at the Cal and Ellen.
And how do you usually perform one? You know, like
Usually
So you get a
you
With brass
come up
knuckles?
from behind and they kick you in the crotch when you're about to do doggy style.
you mean donkey style?
Oh, that's a donkey kick. That's a donkey kick.
I'll tell you how donkey punch works. All right, you get a donkey. I can't even finish. You get a donkey. and you ride it into New York City.
Get a donkey.
And you get to the top of the Empire State Building. And once you get to the
donkey.
Once you get to the top of the Empire State Building on your donkey,
You take a piece of glass.
you take a glass pane from the window.
You find the clitoris and you just take it right off, boy. Tell you what.
After you remove the clitoris, you insert the penis into the donkey.
True.
Have you seen the Brian Wilson, not Brian Williams. What the hell am I talking about?
Brian Williams.
Well, see, we were surfing in Vietnam, and we were taking flack from everywhere because Charlie don't surf, and he hates it when everybody else does. And I'll tell you what, it was one of the most dangerous times of my life. And then they just go into a 4-part harmony about it.
Yes.
We're picking up heavy rocket fire.
But the Brian Wilson movie, Love and Mercy, holy shit, that got me in my feelings.
Yeah, man, Paul Dano, man, like such a good actor.
Really good.
What's the story with them and Charles Manson again? Was it he tried to like chill with them or something? They weren't having it, or what's the story?
Well, you see, Chucky Manson showed up one day. They were just hanging out in Burbank, California, getting ready to, do some chill waves or whatever the fuck it is people in Burbank, California do. And good old Chucky Manson was like, "Hey, y'all want to chill?" And they were like, "Nah, man. Like we've got a pretty good full party here. So unless you're planning on rolling up a healer, we don't have time for you." And that was the end of it. It was, you know what I mean? They just had a full party.
He's giving them bad vibrations.
Just like what Wesley does. Know what I'm saying?
Hey. I get a bad vibe off that Wesley, man. I swear to God, he's humping cows or something when we're not listening.
He doesn't hump them. He finger bangs them like a normal person.
Yeah.
But with my fist.
Oh, jeez. You have to, huh, to inseminate and all that. You got to be like shoulder deep and not.
There's some shoulder deep action, for sure.
You got to finger bang into your cows.
You need to write that song and.
Jackson Callanellen could finger bang people and inseminate them.
Oh, because he has penis fingers?
Yep, that's the reason. So, the other day I saw a spooky doll, and it is at a grocery store, and they'd set it on a Roomba, and it was just like roaming around the grocery store. It made me laugh.
You sure you just didn't kick somebody's baby on a Roomba?
Okay, here's my question. If you had penis fingers, would they go erect when you were,
When you saw Chris Riley's blue eyes? Yes.
Ooh. Oh, okay, I see.
Probably like double erect too. The kind of erect where it like hurts a little bit.
Oh, dude, I hate that one. Or when you're trying to get up out of bed and it feels like you're squeezing a tube of toothpaste with the cap still on.
Yeah.
They'd have to go erect before you could crack your knuckles.
Or would it go erect at the most awkward time in the middle of high school history or some shit? Aw.
I mean, listen, if you're dealing with penis fingers in high school, it's not going to get much more awkward, really.
You got to put a book on your lap and over your hand.
Hey, Brooke, can I borrow your pen? Oh, thanks. And then you go and your hands kind of touch accidentally as you're like grabbing the pen, and then it starts to get that blood flow and starts to swell.
Hey, you better
Excuse
go
me,
wash your
Mrs.
hands before you wipe
Johnson?
yourself.
Can I go get my mittens? Would it be okay if I wore my mittens in class?
You have to carry a picture of a Playboy model in your pocket anytime you want to flip someone off.
Give me a sec here. You're going to get a real good one.
Day after the pin incident, Brooke transferred to another school.
Hey, what's with your left hand? We're at Grandma's house right now. Knock it off.
You know, I bet you we could just use this entire hour and a half long episode to talk about penis fingers.
I mean, it's a better topic than a lot of what we've covered.
The topic probably died.
And that's all I have on penis fingers.
I was just kind of imagining somebody like shaking their penis fingers and being like, "No, I promise. Like, I'm a grower, not a shower. Like, just wait. Like, give me a second here." Or, "It's cold outside. You can't judge me when it's cold outside." I was at the pool.
Stretch a little farther, Frank. I can't quite reach it. Hand me the blow dryer. Yeah, put them on the car heater for a while, and then I'll reach down the gutter drain.
You know what, though? I think I just realized why it is that in some pornos the dude will like put his fingers in the girl's mouth. He has penis fingers, and he just doesn't want us to see. But
they're little ones.
Just little bitty baby penis fingers.
Just think how much better Elton John would be. Like, he's already awesome, but with penis fingers, like, on that piano, he'd probably be even better.
It'd be all sticky. Keys would be all nasty after he's done.
Dang it, Ellen. You smegged my keys. Working at a fast food restaurant.
The real question is, though, would you get like pubes on the back of your hand? Would you have like really hairy fucking hands?
Oh shit.
That's all I think when you said like.
Oh God, what if Robin Williams had hand fingers or hand penises?
Penis
It'd be
finger
the hairiest
hands.
fucking thing. Yeah.
Now.
Oh yeah, that would be like if Tim Gunn made a freaking what's the other director's name that did Edward Scissorhands? It's another Tim, isn't it?
Tim Burton, yeah.
Tim Burton, yeah. Oh, and it's James Gunn, not Tim Gunn. I always fuck that up.
I prefer Tim Gunn.
Alternatively, your penis is a finger.
Like a big finger or just like a normal finger?
Well, it's a girthy finger, but it's not very long.
If your finger's
like
a penis,
side...
I'm pretty sure you'd want it to be as big as possible. You definitely don't want a small penis finger.
You ever go like in elementary where you stick your thumb out of your zipper and then have your shirt covering it and then pull up your shirt and show it people your thumb?
So everybody, I'm going to count to 3, and if we could all talk at the exact same time, that would be great. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
So what you may not know is that Mace was actually going to be on, and we didn't have...
Yes.
I thought you were a jukebox.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, go ahead, Wesley.
Okay, so I have a tragedy to tell you all about. And I hope that our Patreon contributors will be willing to
You hear that,
give
Calvin?
just a little
Are you
bit
listening,
more.
Calvin?
I am listening. Rapt attention.
I have a little brother who is not quite right. One, he's dumber than I am.
Told me the world
Tim,
is gonna
what are you
roll
doing?
me.
He's muted.
None of your business, Brian.
Where's our song?
He's probably
We don't
muting
need the
and just
song. I mean,
singing it.
the story's sad enough. I mean, like, at this point, Sarah McLachlan would brighten it up. I mean, Wesley's trying to tell us he's got a gay brother and he's got to get it off his chest.
A gay brother? Oh, we need a lot more than Patreon for that.
Continue.
Okay, so I have a little brother, and he's in need of a friend. We recently moved.
I told you.
He's kind of bitter about it. And he keeps telling me he wants a horse, and there's no way I'm buying him a damn horse.
So, Patreon and our other listeners, please, I ask, from the bottom of my heart, will you get this boy a horse? And not just any horse, but a miniature horse that's also retarded. All right? These horses are the best. Chris told me about them, showed me pictures, and honestly, a retarded miniature horse would fix all of my brother's problems. So please, donate for the horse.
It's a cool place. And
Thank
they say
you.
it gets colder. You're bundled up now. Wait till you get
I'm like, I'll
older.
throw in for a horseshoe.
Horseshoe.
I'm sure if you can find a farmer with one of these Down syndrome horses, they'll throw in the horse with the horseshoe.
With the
There's a surprise for you in the audio there, Brian. You'll find it in 4 or 5 days.
Wonderful. Okay. I love your surprises.
Thank
in
you,
the audio.
Tim.
Usually they consist of pissing or having a huge coughing fit that sounds like he's going to die. Or
Well, this time it was Wesley. You did your plea over Tupac's. Well, actually, I should say Machiavelli. The Don Columinati flows through your body like a 12-gauge shotty.
Wow.
Film me!
That sets a different tone.
I just figured you wouldn't keep going if I wasn't doing the planned song, so that's why I had to mute myself.
Oh, okay. You're probably right.
Oh, fuck.
It's worth mentioning some of the events that occurred after Wesley's father passed, as it gives good evidence as to Wesley moving in and dealing with his father's house and possessions.
I've never had to wear glasses before.
Yeah, me neither. I've always had, like, better than 20/20 vision.
Really?
Although, it's starting to slip. Like, I just had to get, like, a physical not too long ago for, like, the DOT stuff. And yeah, like, I used to be able to confidently read the smallest line there and, like, blow everybody away.
Uh-huh.
And this time I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go for what's legal and just breeze through it.
Did you have to do the turn your head and cough?
No, I didn't have to do that.
No. See, I wish I would have been able to ask my father what the purpose of that is. You know, the turning your head and coughing.
They're checking for hernias.
Well, I know that, but why? But the coughing. I mean, does that really do anything? Like, I don't know. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it like squeezes on the muscles and stuff, and that would then squeeze on your like you know, intestines or whatever it's herniated onto or all that. Like when you squeeze a balloon, and it kind of pops out a little bit between your fingers.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
That's kind of a unique regret for a person whose father passed away, Wesley.
I never did ask him. I just wish there was some way I could have asked him before he was gone.
One last thing.
Yeah. Not anything that only he specifically would know, but this piece of knowledge that is just easily gathered everywhere.
It's random shit you could look up on the
Dad,
internet.
I just really wanted to know your opinion specifically on this. You know, the whole medical field's just quacks these days, but I know you know what's going on.
The thing is, son, they test whether there's a hole in them so that when you cough, it lets out a squeaky burst of air. Oh, thanks, Dad. Man, you're crazy. You always come up with the wildest answers.
So, how do you get the bulls to cough? Like, when you have to do that to check on their health?
If that was like my final question as his dying breath.
As he's dropping the snow globe.
I just picture you walk into the hospital late and they say, "I'm sorry, he's already passed," and Wesley's shoulders just slump and his head lowers.
But back on the subject of glasses, I've had to wear them since first grade. And I mean, I really don't notice them anymore. If they're in position, how they're supposed to fit, I don't even realize it because I've just worn them so often. Having shitty vision sucks.
Yeah, I'd imagine that.
I don't know. Every time I put on glasses, some girl that happens to be in the vicinity is like, "Wow, you look good in glasses," and I'm like, "Great." It seems like it happens every time. There was this pair of glasses at the hotel that was kind of, I don't know if they were randomly discovered or what, but they were just sitting there. So I put them on, and one of my housekeepers was like,
"Well, I got to stop you right there.
I took them off.
You found them and then you put them on. I would say that counts as randomly discovered."
I can't remember if they were like a guest that were found or if they were one of our housekeepers, but I put them on and then I took them off and I was like, "Wait, these are girls' glasses." And one of the housekeepers was like, "It's okay, those glasses are bisexual." And she paused and she was like, "I mean, gender neutral."
They're polygender or whatever the hell it is.
I've never had to wear glasses, but I did have braces twice.
Me too.
Oh,
what? Once on your teeth and once on your legs?
Tim's here, everybody!
Yay, party horn.
Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs.
Tim, you missed out on Wesley's his one regret that he missed out on with his father before his father passed away.
Oh, man.
So you're going to have to listen to this podcast when we get done recording.
It's very touching.
Yeah.
It really is. Literally.
I don't. Like, the way that you guys are giggling is making me a little bit uncomfortable at the moment.
It's about as touching as you can get between two guys.
Oh, so you wanted to dock with your father. I understand.
Oh, boy. All right, so I guess you can get more touching.
I blame Brian for leading me to believe that it was a lot more sexual than probably.
It does involve pants being off and like hands being applied to genitals.
Yeah.
But not necessarily in a romantic.
So actually,
capacity.
Here's what we should do then. Given the knowledge that I have of Wesley, I'm going to try and guess what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Guess Wesley's Fetish. All right, so
let's go.
Now, was it? Did you want to go to like one of those traditional Asian massage parlors with your father, and you guys would both get a happy ending, but like in separate rooms?
Wow.
Their happy ending would be they converted the parlor to Mormonism.
Yeah, convert them all and take them as sister wives.
So am I hot or hotter? Let me know, Wesley. Because here's how the scale is going to work. Either it's hot and that means that I'm on the trail and I'm close, or it's hotter, meaning that it's way better than whatever it is that you had actually said.
Oh, in that case, it's hotter.
Okay. Oh, fuck. I love when I invent games on the fly and then run out of things to say.
Yeah. You lasted one round.
Congratulations. You took it to a place that was better than it originally was. You win the game. We don't need to play anymore.
That's fair. What's my prize?
You get to do the thing that Wesley was referring to.
Oh, God. Wait, do I have to cut your pubes, Wesley? Because I'm not going to cut your pubes.
No.
Do you want a straight razor shave around the scrotal area? Is that what's going on here?
That sounds awful.
No,
What do you mean?
Wesley's not allowed to cut his pubes. He needs to grow them out like Samson, and that's where he keeps his power.
There we go. Can I make that Mormon canon?
That's what he calls it. Oh, is that what you call it, Wesley?
Hey,
Wesley's Mormon canon.
I want to know though. Then, if a Mormon gets an STD, does he have a burning bush?
When was the last time you had a full physical, Tim?
A full physical? Well, I don't have health insurance, Wesley. So it's probably been 5 years. What?
Oh. I said damn T-Mobile. You think they'd...
Oh, they offer it. It's just expensive and not really worth it when you can pay the cash price for most things, and it's fine.
Yeah, that's...
My
mother does.
Like, my kids have insurance. I just don't.
I see. Is that through, like, the school district your wife works for or something?
Something like that.
Something like that.
We don't need to get into my insurance plan on the fucking podcast, Wesley.
Penis talk? Okay. Discussing your family's health insurance? Too far.
Yeah. I've never. So, Tim, what are your social security numbers?
Oh, well, it's 2, 4, 5, 9er, Theta Gamma.
Hashtag.
Hashtag social, everybody.
But I didn't know they were making, like, modern ones.
I found this old metal box in my attic, and I dusted it off and plugged it in.
Listen, man. I had an N64. Like, let's not pretend that, like, my first video game system was the fucking Nintendo DS. Like, I had some shit growing up. All right, maybe I didn't start with the Super Nintendo fucking and the Sonic machine like y'all did, but I started pretty early.
Well, you see, Doom started out as a PC game.
Well, okay, but
where you're rocking that where all the PCs were the same color. It was back when they were all beige. Just I guess they couldn't figure out how to make a computer any other color. And
well, I
this
think
would be
they
back
could.
when
like a Model T.
Yeah. Yeah, and like it would probably have like a 286 motherboard in that thing, like high technology, floppy disk, fucking 28.8 modem, dial up. Yeah, it's got to make a bunch of beeping and screeching noises at you just to connect to the internet. Tie up your phone line for the whole house while it's playing.
Oh, those were the days.
Hell yeah,
the one thing.
Go continue, Alex. I'm sorry.
No, you can go, Wesley.
Oh, did I tell you guys that when I was renovating my house, I found a Windows 95. Well, it was an IBM desktop with Windows 95 on it. And my dad had saved it. He said, "Oh well, I can sell it on eBay and get something for it." But that computer was as old as I am, and it was ridiculous. It had a tower and a huge monitor that it needed to run on.
A monitor like Brian uses to this day.
Yes. I'm 23, so I don't even remember my father ever using it. But Chris and Brian, did you ever use computers like that? Or
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
We were talking about this recently the other day. My dad started getting computers in 1982, which was 4 years before I was born. So I've never really there's never been a time in my life where I didn't have a computer in the house or several computers.
So that was even back in the time where like furniture companies were making computers. Like it was just insane. Like like there'd be a Yamaha computer and fucking shit like that. Like it was the Wild West of the computer days back then.
As I've said, everything feels grounded in reality. I will be submitting more evidence to this fact later on when we go over the details of Wesley's ranch and the aforementioned broken leg and everything else. I said before, this is a difficult and very interwoven story to tell. Its organization has been a monumental task, and I'll inevitably forget to mention something along the way. One such thing I should have mentioned were my findings about Agent Dre's suicide. I said that I had believed it to be due to this very podcast. It's true that Agent Landre died by laying down in traffic, right in the center of a 5-lane highway. And I believe the primary motivation behind this act was listening to 4 years of Brian's terrible puns. It's not something that can be quantified or calculated necessarily. Rather, it's something that can only be experienced firsthand to truly understand. The more that I've poured over these records, the more I've begun to feel the urge myself. Agents sometimes have to deal with the worst cases, and I believe this is one of them. It's just a shame that it had to happen to someone who started on such an innocent and harmless case as Wesley Sullivan, only to end in a tragic death by Brian's bad jokes. My heart goes out to Agent Dre's family and friends, as does my heart go out to the family and friends of Wesley Sullivan. In my next entry, I will be going over Wesley's ranch life, but for now, this is Agent Chuffton signing off.
Well, I think we've all seen some shit tonight, and maybe we shouldn't publish this.
And we're all better people for it.
We've learned, we've laughed, we've cried.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this podcast, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Change the channel.
Go seek help now.
But hey, we haven't talked about this in a while, but if you really did enjoy this podcast, go to our Patreon and give us some money, and we'll take that to mean that you want us to talk about more parts of women and porn, because clearly that would be the only reason.
Funding this podcast also helps our D&D podcast, which you can find by searching LCP D&D on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Well, most of them anyway.
We're funded by viewers like you.
Man, I haven't heard that in a long time. It's been like at least a decade.
When Reading Rainbow always used to try to shake you down as a fucking 4-year-old.
They got old Cowart by the heels.
I'm sorry, LeVar. I'm only fucking 4 years old, dude.
All right. I'm calling this episode.
What are you calling it?
I don't know.
He's gonna call it Kunti Kinte steals your lunch money.
Question: Can we like put in a statement here that this wasn't really me? Because if my children ever listen to this, they might.
It was not Wesley. What's your address, Wesley? This is not the man that lives there.
Or they might tease me for being a boob man instead of an ass man.
The younger generation, they're gonna
We're
be
the
like,
utter squad.
"Oh, Dad, you old
Your
fuck."
son's gonna be like, Dad, you see what Mom's boobs look like right now, don't you? You buds.
Oh
the
my
fuck
God.
are you doing, bruh?
You're like, because you used them up, you little shit.
Oh fuck. Goodbye, everybody.